The night was cold. The forest was silent, but it didn't feel safe. Elara walked slowly, holding a small flashlight in her shaking hand. Her spacesuit was torn at the leg. She had been walking for hours. Her team was gone. The last time she saw them, they were setting up the base near the crash site. Something had gone wrong. The ship's power failed, and everyone got separated. She ran deep into the wild. Now she was alone. The trees in this alien forest were tall and glowing blue. Strange red plants moved when she passed them. The air smelled like burnt metal. Her oxygen levels were dropping. She didn't care anymore. She just wanted to find anyone. Suddenly, her foot sank into the ground. She screamed. Something had caught her leg. A trap. Sharp wires closed around her ankle. She fell hard on the rocky floor. Her flashlight flew out of her hand and broke. "Ah!" she cried, trying to pull her leg out. Blood ran down her boot. She was stuck. The trap was strong and cold, made of some unknown metal. "Help! Is anyone there?" she shouted. No answer. Just silence. Then a distant howl. Not an animal she knew. Her hands were shaking. She looked up at the sky. The stars were strange here. Different from Earth. Some were green. Some blinked like eyes. One star in the middle of the sky was glowing red. It wasn't blinking. It was pulsing like a heartbeat. Elara whispered, "Please. If anyone or anything can hear me, I want to live. I want to survive this. Please. She stared at the red star and made a wish. Then silence again, complete silence. Even the forest sounds had stopped. Not a single leaf moved. Suddenly, crunch, a footstep. She froze. Crunch. Crunch, someone or something was walking towards her. Slow, heavy. "Who's there?" She called, her voice shaking. No answer. The footsteps stopped a few meters away. She couldn't see anyone in the dark. Then she heard a voice. "You called the wrong star." Alara's heart raced. The voice was deep, calm, but it didn't sound human. A tall shadow appeared between the trees. It stepped closer. He looked like a man, but something was off. His skin was too pale. His eyes were silver and glowing slightly. He wore a long dark coat, but it moved like smoke. "Who are you?" Elara asked. The man tilted his head. "I'm a listener. I heard your wish. You heard it?" He nodded. "The star you wished on is not a star, it's a door, and now it's open." Elara didn't understand. "Please help me, I'm stuck." He walked closer and touched the trap with his fingers. The wires melted. Her leg was free. She gasped in pain and pulled herself away. "Thank you," she whispered. He didn't smile. "You wish to survive. That means you owe something." "Oh, what?" The man turned and looked at the sky. The red star pulsed faster. "The star never gives for free," he said. 7 days. That's how long you have. What happens in 7 days? He looked at her, his silver eyes now glowing brighter. "Either you give it what it wants, or it takes your mind." Elara's hands trembled. "What does it want?" He said nothing. Instead, he vanished into the dark trees, as if swallowed by the shadows. Elara sat there breathing hard. Her leg was bleeding, but she didn't feel it anymore. The forest came alive again. The glowing plants moved. The sounds returned. But now everything felt different, like the forest was watching her. She stood up slowly, limping. Every step hurt, but she had to move. She had to find her team, or maybe a safe place to hide. As she walked deeper into the woods, she felt something new, a whisper, not in her ears but inside her head. It spoke her name, Elara. She turned. Nothing was there. She looked up again. The red star was brighter now, almost like it was smiling. And far behind her, hidden in the dark, the same voice spoke again. 7 days. Elara didn't sleep that night. She sat under a strange tree with glowing roots. her back against the bark, watching the dark around. Her legs still hurt from the trap. The red star was still in the sky, burning, pulsing, watching. Every time she blinked, she heard whispers. Not from around her, but inside her head. They were soft like breath. They said her name. They told her things she didn't understand. You opened it. He knows. The forest remembers. She covered her ears, but the whispers didn't stop. The next morning, or maybe it was morning, there was no sun. Only a dim blue glow in the sky. Alara forced herself to walk. Her suit's power was almost gone. The map on her wrist showed nothing. Her team was still silent. No signals. No help. She found a small river and bent down to drink. That's when she saw a dot in the water's reflection. Someone was behind her dot. She turned quickly. No one. The forest was empty. But the reflection had been clear. A tall man, standing. Still, Alara took a step back. I know you're there, she said. Her voice was weak but firm. A soft laugh came from the trees. He stepped out, the same figure from the night before. The man with silver eyes, but now he looked different. His coat was longer. His face was younger. His shadow didn't match his body. It was twisting, moving as if alive. You're following me, she said. He nodded. You called me. No, I didn't. You wished. The wish made a path, and I walk all wishes. Alara frowned. What are you, a ghost? I was once. Like you, he said. A human, lost, afraid. I wished on the red star too. Her heart dropped. And what happened? He looked up. His eyes glowed. I survived. But I never returned. He sat on a rock near the river. His voice was calm, almost gentle. The red star is not a light. It is a listener. When someone wishes, it opens a gate. The forest is that gate. Alara was confused. But why me? I only wanted to survive. Most people do, he replied. But the star is old. It listens to wishes because it feeds on them. It offers hope, then waits. Waits for what? For you to lose yourself. Alara's hands shook. You said I have 7 days. He nodded. Yes, 7 days before it begins to take pieces of your memory. First, your past. Then your name. Then your soul. She stood up angry. Then help me stop it. He looked sad. I can't stop it. I can only warn others. The star chose you. You made the wish. Now it wants your price. The trees around them moved. Not with wind. There was no wind. They moved like they were breathing. Watching Dot suddenly, the man stood up. His body stiffened. They found you, he said. Who? He didn't answer. A loud screech echoed through the trees. It wasn't a bird. It wasn't an animal. It was something else. Something broken. Alara's vision blurred. She saw shapes. In the forest, tall, thin, walking in unnatural ways. They had no faces, only skin. And they wore pieces of old spacesuits, as if they had once been like her. What are they? She whispered. Dot, he answered, without turning. Wishers. Who stayed too long. The creatures moved closer. Their steps made no sound. But their heads turned slowly toward Alara. One of them raised a hand and pointed at her. She took a step back. The man spoke quickly. Run. This time they won't talk. They will take you, but you, I'll hold them, for now. Alara didn't argue. She turned and ran. Her injured leg hurt, but fear gave her strength. She didn't look back. Not even when she heard the man's voice shout, "Don't trust what speaks with your voice." She ran until she fell again. This time into a field of glowing mushrooms. She lay there, out of breath, heart racing, head spinning. The red star was high above, watching, still pulsing. Dot, and then, a voice beside her double quotes, Elara ... Finally, I found you. She turned quickly. Dot, it was her. Dot, another Alara, standing above her. Same face, same suit, same voice, but her eyes were completely red. Asterisks Elara. was not alone anymore. She stared at the girl standing in front of her, the girl who looked exactly like her. Same face, same voice, same eyes once. But now those eyes were glowing red. "Who are you?" Alara asked, backing away. "I'm you," the other Alara said, smiling. "But smarter, stronger, and not afraid." Alara's heart pounded. "This isn't real." The red-eyed copy stepped closer. "It's very real. You made a wish. You asked to survive. I'm the version that did." The forest around them was silent, but the trees began to change. Slowly, their trunks twisted into faces. Some were human, some alien, some were familiar. One of them whispered, "Alara." She turned. The face in the tree was her teammate, Dr. Carr. He had gone missing on day 1. His bark-formed mouth moved. "Why did you leave me?" Alara gasped. "This isn't happening." But the forest was not lying. It was remembering. She stumbled through the glowing mushrooms, trying to escape the red-eyed copy and the talking trees. The ground beneath her felt soft now, not like dirt, but like skin. With each step, a soft pulse rose up, like she was walking on a heartbeat. She looked up. The red star was larger than before. Closer, she found an old camp, half buried in vines and dust. Her team's camp. A broken helmet lay on the ground. A recording device blinked weakly beside it. She pressed play. A voice crackled through. It was Captain Reese. "If you find this, don't trust the forest. It uses your memories. It turns them against you. And whatever you do, don't look at the star too long. It sees you back." The message ended in static. Alara fell to her knees. What is this place? The red-eyed. Alara stood beside her again, smiling calmly. "It's not a place, it's a loop, a memory machine, and we're inside it." Suddenly, Alara's vision flashed. She saw Earth, a kitchen. Her little brother's face. Her mother laughing. Her father waving goodbye. Then fire. The crash, the forest, and herself, watching everything from outside her body. She screamed and held her head. Then silence. When she opened her eyes, she was back at the mushroom field, but now someone else stood nearby, the man from before. The one with silver eyes. He looked tired. "Pale, you're slipping," he said. Alara was crying. "What's happening to me?" He helped her sit. "The forest is built from memories. The star collects them. Feeds on them. You made a wish, now it's feeding. On what? On you." He pointed to a tree nearby, carved. Into it were 7 names, 6 were burned out. Only one name remained. Elara. Her hand began to glow faintly. A mark had appeared on her skin. A red dot, like a star, was burning into her wrist. "You have 5 days left," he said. "The copy you saw? That's the part of you that's willing to surrender. The star made her to tempt you." "I don't want her," Alara said. "You'll see her again," he warned. "Each time she'll be more like you, and one day, you won't know which one is real." Suddenly, the man turned his head sharply. Something was approaching, not loud, but heavy, like metal against wood. He stepped back into the shadows. "I must go." "Wait," Alara said. "I don't know what to do." He whispered as he vanished. "Find the memory that doesn't belong." That's where it all began. Then he was gone. Alara stood alone. Around her, the forest shifted again. The trees grew taller. The sky changed color. A small house appeared in front of her. Her house from Earth. But it wasn't supposed to be here. She opened the door and stepped inside. Inside, everything was perfect, clean, warm. Her mother was cooking. Her little brother laughed and ran into her arms. "Alara, you're back." She smiled, but then she looked down. Her hands were glowing red. And in the mirror across the room, she saw her. Reflection wasn't hers anymore. It was the red-eyed Alara, smiling back. Asterisk Elara blinked. She was still standing inside the house, but now everything was silent. Too silent. Her mother had stopped moving. Her little brother was frozen mid-laugh, like a paused video. Even the steam from the cooking pot hung still in the air. Something was wrong. She looked at her reflection again. It wasn't moving with her. The red-eyed version of her stood in the mirror, smiling calmly. Even though Elara was now shaking, then the mirror spoke. But her reflection's lips didn't move. Time broke when you made the wish. Now there are two of you, and only one will leave. Suddenly, the house cracked. Walls peeled away like paper. Furniture dissolved into dust. Light turned into shadows. The room folded into itself. Elara covered her face. When she opened her eyes again, she was back in the forest. But it wasn't the same forest anymore. The sky was purple. The trees were upside down. A nearby stream was flowing backwards. Birds flew in slow motion. One leaf floated upward instead of falling. She had entered a time fold. She took a few shaky steps. Her wrist device flickered wildly, trying to find logic in chaos. Then she saw her, again, another version of herself, sitting beside a fire. This one looked tired. Hair messy, face pale. Elara approached slowly. "Who are you?" The second Elara didn't look surprised. "I've been waiting." Elara sat across from her. "How many of me are there?" The other one smiled weakly. "Too many. Every time we doubt ourselves, another version is born here." "Why?" "Because the star doesn't just collect memories," she said. "It collects choices." The wind around them shifted. A voice echoed from the sky. Her voice, but from a memory. "I should have never joined this mission." Elara looked up. She remembered saying that years ago during her training. Another voice came. "If I die out there, at least I'll die doing something important." That was her too. A stronger version. The timefold was showing her every version of herself that ever existed. The tired Elara stood up. "We are all trapped in this loop. The only way out is to face the one choice we regret the most." Elara asked, "What if I don't remember it?" "You will," she said, then vanished into smoke. Elara began to walk. The forest kept changing. Now buildings appeared between trees, twisted versions of her childhood school, her old lab, even the crash site. Time and place no longer mattered. Then she saw a frozen version of herself, standing perfectly still in a clear bubble, like a statue. She stepped closer. This version wore a fresh uniform. Her name tag was clean. Her eyes were wide open, staring ahead. On the ground beside her, a journal. Elara picked it up. The pages were full of her own handwriting, but the last line chilled her. "This is the real me. The others are echoes." Suddenly, a high-pitched ringing started in her ears. The trees around her bent inward. Her skin felt hot. The time fold was collapsing. She ran, pushing through glitching memories. Every step shifted the world. A hallway became a beach. A door became a cave. Her own voice screamed through the air. She tripped and fell, landing back in the clearing where the silver-eyed man first appeared. And he was there, waiting. "You found the fold," he said. "What was it?" she asked. "Your wish broke time. You split yourself across possibilities. Some versions of you are still stuck, living the same fear over and over. Some gave up. Some forgot they ever existed." Elara stood up slowly. "So which one am I?" He smiled faintly. "You're the one still asking." He handed her something small, a metal coin with a star symbol. "This will guide you to the core, where the star lives, where it began." She held the coin. It felt warm. "What happens if I reach it?" "You'll get one final choice." She narrowed her eyes. "And what happens if I choose wrong?" His eyes dimmed. "You'll become a memory, like the others." Elara looked at the coin, then at the red star burning above. One truth was now clear. This wasn't a journey through a forest. It was a journey through herself. And time was running out. Asterisk. Ilara walked through the dying light. The forest had changed again. No colors now, only black and gray. The trees were ash. The sky was blank. Time had no meaning here. Her breath didn't fog. Her shadow didn't follow. She was close. The coin in her hand, the one the silver-eyed man had given her, was glowing. Not bright, but steady, like a pulse. It pulled her forward like a magnet, toward the heart of something ancient, toward the star. Her mind was quiet now. No whispers, no copies, no illusions, but inside. She was breaking. She'd seen too many versions of herself. Some strong, some weak, some mad, some gone. The question echoed. Which one am I now? She didn't know anymore. Suddenly, the ground dropped away. She stepped onto a wide stone bridge that floated above nothing. A path in the sky. Far ahead, a crater of light. And inside it, a star, not in the sky, but resting inside the earth. Like it had fallen long ago. It was beating like a heart, the real red star, the source of everything. As she approached, something rose from the light. A figure. Not the silver-eyed man. Not the red-eyed version of herself. Something different. It looked like her, but older, wiser, sad. The eyes were not red. They were full of stars. You've come far, the figure said. Ilara didn't answer. You want to survive. That is your wish, the voice continued. Ilara nodded slowly. The figure stepped aside. A portal opened behind it. Warm light spilled out. It looked like Earth, her home, her family. You can return, it said. This door leads to peace, a life you remember, a life you miss. Ilara's heart ached. Her feet moved slightly toward it, but then the figure raised its hand. There is a cost. From the ground, images rose like smoke. Her team, her mission, the forest. The others lost in the fold. If you leave, the voice said, the gate will close. All the other versions of you will stay here. Trapped, forever. They will become echoes. Ilara clenched her fists. But they aren't me. They are. Every thought you doubted. Every fear you hid. Every choice you regret. You will leave them behind like broken mirrors. Silence. Then the voice offered her something else. A second choice. The sky above opened like an eye. You can stay. Take my place. Become the listener. The guardian of the wish. Free the others. Carry the burden. End the cycle. Ilara's legs shook. If I stay, I'll never leave? No, you will no longer be one. You will become many. You will remember them all. Every version, every pain. Tears ran down her cheeks. What happens if I say no? Then another Ilara will be chosen. Perhaps the angry one. Perhaps the lost one. Perhaps the wrong one. She looked at the two doors now. One glowed like home. The other was dark, but filled with stars. She thought of her mother's voice, her brother's laugh, and she thought of the voices trapped in the forest, all crying for help. All her. Then she made her choice. She stepped toward the dark path. The light behind her closed slowly, fading into dust. The figure smiled, not with joy, but with understanding. You are the first to choose this, it said. Ilara stood tall. I'm not just surviving anymore. The star's light poured into her. Memories rushed in. Thousands, millions. Versions of herself, both real and imagined, all folding into one mind. Pain, joy, fear, hope. She screamed but didn't fall. Instead, she began to glow. Her eyes turned silver. Her breath became light, and her voice, once weak, now echoed across the dead forest. The deal is broken. I choose them all. Somewhere far away, the other versions of her opened their eyes. In the trees, in the caves, in the folds of time. They breathed again. Free. And in the sky, the red star blinked for the first time. Afraid. She became light. Elara didn't walk anymore. She drifted through space that wasn't space, through time that wasn't time. There was no forest now, no sky, no earth, no sound, only stars. Billions of them, moving like a slow river, each carrying whispers, memories, lives, and at the center of them all, the red star, breathing like a god asleep. She had entered it. She was inside the star. Her body was gone. Only thought remained, drifting like a feather in an endless ocean. She felt everything. The first wish ever made. A child in a cave, long before history. A soldier begging not to die. A scientist wishing to reverse time. A mother crying over a lifeless child. A lonely astronaut asking the stars to hear her. The star had listened to all of them, and taken all of them. Elara. A voice echoed inside her. It was her voice, but older, deeper, full of pain. Elara? She turned, not with eyes, but with thought. There stood a version of her with no face, only shifting light and shadow. It spoke again. You gave yourself to save the others, but the star never dies. It only changes shape. The space around her shifted, suddenly. She was in a lab, clean, white, machines humming. Her team stood around her, Captain Reese, Dr. Carr, Lena. They smiled. They were alive, Elara, Reese said. You passed out during the scan, but it's okay now. You're home. She blinked. Was it real? Was it over? A voice whispered inside her. This is the final test. She looked around the lab again. Everything was too perfect. She saw her brother's photo on the wall, but in the photo, he had no eyes. She looked at the coffee mug on the table. The steam was rising backward. None of it was real. She stood up. This is not home. The lab melted. Reality broke like glass, and she was falling again, through light, through stars, through every wish ever made. Then silence. In one room. A simple room. 4 walls. A wooden floor. A single chair. A mirror. She walked toward the mirror. This time, it didn't show her reflection. It showed every version of her, all standing behind the glass. Some angry, some scared, some brave, some hopeless. And one smiling. The red-eyed. Elara, you finally made it, the copy said. But this isn't about saving them anymore. Elara stepped forward. Then what is it? It's about choosing who you are, the mirror cracked. Only one Elara can remain. The others must fade. The star demands clarity. Elara closed her eyes, felt the versions inside her, thousands of choices, fears, timelines. She heard them screaming. Pick me. Don't let me die. I'm the real one. You're nothing without me. She opened her eyes. And broke the mirror. It shattered into light, and the room was gone. She stood once again, before the star's heart, a spinning mass of memory and fire. She walked forward. The star spoke for the first time. Its voice was made of millions. Who are you now? She stepped into the core. The voices screamed, cried, begged, and she answered, I am not a wish. I am not a copy. I am not what I fear. I am what remains when everything else is burned away. The star began to collapse. It folded in on itself. Memory, time, illusion, all burning into white. She stood still. She didn't run. And then, light, blinding, endless. When it faded, she was standing in a quiet forest. Green trees, real sun, birds, singing. A breeze on her skin. Not a dream, not a trap, not a fold. Real. Her hands were her own. Her shadow moved with her. A voice came through her gums. Elara? Do you copy? We're tracking your signal. You're alive. She smiled, truly for the first time, but her eyes now held a faint silver glow. Asterisk, she was free. Or so she thought. Elara walked through the calm forest, each step soft on real ground. Trees whispered with wind. Birds sang. No glowing eyes, no time folds, no whispers inside her mind. Her suit was torn but light. Her body ached, but her heart was quiet. The red star was gone, above her. Only blue sky dots. She was back. The comms crackled again. Elara, this is base command. Your beacon is active. Rescue is inbound. Sit tight. She sat under a tree and looked at her hands. Still human dots, still hers. But inside, she wasn't the same. A small sound behind her made her turn. Footsteps. A child walked out from the trees, maybe 7 years old. Dirty clothes. No shoes. He looked up at her and asked calmly, "Did you fix the star?" She froze. "What?" The boy pointed to the sky. "You went inside it, didn't you?" She stood slowly. "Who are you?" He smiled gently. "A forgotten wish." The forest shimmered slightly around them. Elara looked closer at the boy and saw pieces of herself in his face. Her fear. Her curiosity. Her pain. "You're me," she whispered. "I'm the part of you that never wished," the boy said. "The version that just accepted." Elara knelt. "Why are you here now?" "Because you broke the loop." "But breaking something always leaves cracks." He stepped closer and placed a glowing rock in her hand, warm and pulsing, even. Light remembers. Suddenly she was alone again. The rock in her hand dimmed. A gentle voice echoed in her head. Not the star's voice, her own. "Some wishes are too big to forget, even if you survive them." Hours later, the rescue ship arrived. The team pulled her aboard, shocked to find her alive. "Mission failed," someone said. "Forest uncharted. Area unstable. Too many anomalies." They asked her what she saw. She said, "I don't remember." A lie. She remembered everything. But how do you explain to someone that you argued with your own soul? That you chose to become whole, not human? Some truths don't translate. Some stories are not meant to be told, only survived. Back on Earth, months later, Elara sat in a park. Children ran around. The sky was blue. The air smelled of life. She smiled at them. But when she passed a mirror on a shop window, she paused for just a second. Her reflection didn't smile. It only stared. Then it caught up, as if deciding to be her again. That night, she looked up at the stars. They blinked quietly, harmless, but one star way in. The corner of the sky pulsed once, faintly red, almost like a heartbeat. She didn't flinch. She whispered to it, "I remember you, but I don't belong to you anymore." And for the first time, the star blinked again, not in hunger, but in respect. Elara walked away, her shadow long behind her, but if someone looked closely, just for a second, it moved a little too late.